Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at another rank 1 in the World team here from our favorite speedrunner Jason, who is very decent at playing Bastion. So we're going to have a team here with Bastion, and you're going to see already this team is going to be an ABA style. What this means is that you're going to have a weakness for fighting both in the lead as well in the back, which is something that you really rarely see on my channel. Like, it's something that I basically never play because it's something that I don't like to play. But today I was kind of forced to play it, and I have to say I actually enjoyed it. It worked out really well. I went up, I think, around 100 points in like 4 sets, I think, so that's totally fine. It's a decent rate, especially as I am not really familiar with A, the style, or B, this team. And there's definitely a lot of mistakes that I did because I'm not really familiar with it, and you have to kind of know a team a little bit before you know like how to exactly play everything. So yeah, what do you do here really against the Medicham in the lead and whatever? We're going to talk a little bit about this here today. I'm not sure how many I'm going to face here in today's video. Because that gets randomly selected out of the 20. I don't know what I'm actually facing here. But here we're going to have in the first game already someone with a Dragonite where they don't really have anywhere to go against this team anyway, especially if the Medicham has some energy with the Ice Punch. So there's going to be a very easy game here as they're going to be able to farm down the opponent's Medicham with our Bastion. Okay, yeah, first game actually. That's really nice here that we're going to actually commentate. We're going to have the Medicham in the lead. They told me that you're going to just stay in here and play out the zero shield scenario. You're not going to win the zero shield scenario, but what you're going to get here is you're going to get the opponent into the red health already. And with this, basically their best answer for Bastion is going to be gone already, and you're going to be able, okay, here we're going to actually be able to realign. Not sure if I should have went into my Bastion here. I feel like that is the better play for me to go for, because my Medicham needs to be against the opponent's Medicham, because the opponent used a shield against the Dugong there. But basically you want to play out the lead matchup there, and then try to play out the rest later on. Here I'm going to let this move go through, as I know that I'm going to get lower with this one, and the opponent going to be able to farm me down. And we're going to see here now the Sand Slash coming in, so it was a really good shout by me to keep my Medicham alive, as now I'm also going to be able to catch a move from the opponent's Alolan Sand Slash here onto our Dugong, which is going to be really nice for me, as I can now farm them all the way down. Get a ton of energy. We are not in range for Psychic yet. We just have to get up to 2 Ice Punches, and that's exactly where we are right now. So this is going to be a good game, as the opponent has nowhere to go here. This is going to be a very easy game here, while having the lead of Medicham against us. And honestly, this backline right now as well is very good against the Deoxys, a double Fighting Week in the back team there that I applied for to Legend, that Zaronic also showcased before. Very strong team basically everywhere right now, and this team is also a very good answer for this. But there are a lot of teams as well that are running Deoxys in the lead and having something different in the backline. I'm not sure what's happening here. Oh, we're going to have a double in the back. You're going to see me making a very interesting decision here. Obvious play would be to go into the Medicham, and that's exactly what I'm not going to do here right now. The reason is, if you're going to see someone run a double as a safe swap, the likelihood of them having something weak against Medicham in the back is basically at like 90%. So that's why I went ahead and just went into my Bastion. Bastion can take those charge moves really well. Of course, the fast move is double super effective against me, but with the debuff, it doesn't really matter too much. We're going to get all this matchup here with basically perfect energy, and you're going to see already what we're going to encounter here. It's going to be the Obstagoon. And of course, Obstagoon is something where you want to have the Medicham on it. This is just recognizing patterns from opponents. And this is basically what an ABA line can do against an ABB line. ABB line are just very easy to predict, while here they were not as easy to predict for them, as they're going to now be able to use a shield against the opponent's Deoxys, or will be able to get the debuff or the knockout against the opponent here. Both of them are going to be fine, very likely to get the debuff here, as you're going to get them easily into Ice Punch range. We just have to get up to that one. We might even want to farm them all the way down here, depending on what they're going to go for. They're going to go for the Thunderbolt, so I'm going to go for my Ice Punch instead. And like this, I'm going to be able to knock them out. We have the Obstagoon against us, and they're going to forfeit. So that's exactly how you want to play against this team. Next opponent, Bastion lead. Honestly, we have actually all the bad leads here against us. Again, I kind of want to stay in here, because you're going to be double weak against fighting type Pokemon in the back. The likelihood of them having a Medicham in the back is fairly high, like the core of the Medicham and the Bastion, which we have here as a backline, is just very, very decent, very, very common. But you're still going to be able to get to 2 drill runs here as a Dugong against a Bastion, which is really nice to see. And you see me here going to the Bastion because I want to get more energy. And this is exactly what I'm going to do here, because MEWeedle would just go for 2 counters and it would be over. But like this, I will be able to get a shield even from the opponent and try to get them low. I'm very confused by the shield by the opponent here though, because I expect them to have a MEWeedle in the back, which is still very likely here. So I'm actually going to use a shield here as well, which I shouldn't have done. This is like basically me using the shield for the, like, if they're going to have something like a victory bell in the back. But turns out they have the MEWeedle in the back. So now we're going to be in a scenario where I'm one fast move behind the opponent, but because I didn't throw, I'm now equal as the opponent. But I have a ton of energy on my own Bastion, which might be what can win us the game later on. They are running Power Punch here, so that's a great play by them. But here we're going to be able to go for our own charge move. Psychic coming through here, going to do some decent damage. I'm actually not really sure if they're running Ice Punch. Maybe let me see real quick the messengers, if they told me if they run Ice Punch on their MEWeedle or not. I don't think they did, but yeah, definitely decent. A 2-run Ice Punch here. I think maybe you actually want to run Power Punch as well. Like, kind of, like, Power Punch is also really decent in the current meta right now. But here we're going to be able to win this game with a sweep from Bastion, which is kind of funny to see because you rarely see this. So, next opponent, Deoxys defense lead. Again, we're going to stay in here. Yes, we're going to be weak against counter, we're going to be weak against Thunderbolt. If they go for Rock Slide, I might would shield it first. If they have Thunderbolt, I would just let it go, because you're going to be able to get 2 moves off anyway. The reason is just because they're going to outspeed you to the Rock Slide, while they're not going to outspeed you to the Thunderbolt. You kind of want to have the debuff onto it beforehand, in my opinion, so that's more the reason why. But here we're going to be able to now have the debuff onto the opponent, double debuff. Thunderbolt doesn't do damage. I will be able to get my Bastion onto the Noctowl, and the opponent decides to forfeit. So, very fast game, very nice win. Next opponent, Swampert in the lead. A very decent one for us as well here. This is going to be something where I can go straight for the Icy Wind, because the opponent going to get to their Earthquake basically just after the Icy Wind, so you're going to be able to always outspeed them. Against Azumarill, I always kinda, I don't know, I feel like I'm always not satisfied with how I play this. Usually I go for the Icy Wind first here. You can just go for a straight draw run if you want to. I just want to get rid of the energy of the, or like in general, of the damage output from the opponent. And here I'm going to be able to catch a move onto my Bastion as well, which I feel like might be the right call. But I was already so long in the matchup against the opponent here that they will be able to just go ahead and swap out now already into the Swampert, which is basically what I kind of misplayed here. I sure went straight into my Bastion most likely, or went for one drill run and then swapped out. But like this, it's going to be a little bit of a tougher one, as we are going to try to go for one Stone Edge here. But I'm going to have to let this move go through against the opponent. I should be able to swap out and farm all the way down. Please, no, they can still get to a charge move here. But I'm gonna get some energy advantage here right now as well. And let's see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be a Skarmory, and this is going to be awkward. I'm gonna go for the Psychic, which does a little bit more damage. I expect that I can still get to the Ice Punch here at this range. And I was wrong with this. This was something where I just misplayed. I thought I would get to the Ice Punch still at this point of time. I just didn't by a few HP. And like this, the opponent going to be able to farm me down here. I can go for the drill run, and I make another mistake here, which I think doesn't really matter too much. I sure went straight for the drill run here, but the opponent going to have 2 moves anyway at this point of time already. So, yeah, at this point of time, it just doesn't matter. Like, I didn't really keep track of the Azumarill's energy there. I just misplayed this, to be fair. Like, this was definitely a winnable game, but I just didn't play it right. So, that's on me. We're going to have another Deoxys in the lead. So, again, we're going to stay in here. Another very bad lead for us, but it's totally fine for this ABA line, as you're going to most likely get out of the way the best counter to the Bastion with this one as well as our backline in general. Doesn't really want to face the Deoxys, so having this in the lead is totally fine. They're going to swap into the Dugong onto our Icy Wind. Great play by them, allowing us to go into our own Bastion. We will be able to now take 2 drill runs for sure without any issue, as now they're going to be debuffed. And I'm gonna go ahead and go for the charge move here. Might be a mistake, to be fair, as they're going to just barely survive it with 1 HP. And that's like the thing anyway. Like, this is the thing that you're going to encounter, or like know after playing this game, or like after playing the team for a little bit, where you know where you have to go for the Stone Edge, where you just rather would go for a little bit more farm. Like, those are the things that you just know from playing the team a little bit more. But here we're going to still be able to get a shield from the opponent. I'm going to swap out, keeping my 3 Pokemon alive. At this point of time, I thought of just trying to go for the stall tactics and try to get the clock down. as I expected them to have the Umbreon in the back because this is my Legend team. So here we're going to be able to just go ahead and try to go for some counter plus Ice Punch damage against the opponent, while trying to keep a little bit of track of their energy and maybe try to catch a move later onto the Dugong. They're going to be at a move here right now, and I'm going to overfarm by a little bit. I think I'm going to go for a few more fast moves here. Let's see. I'm going to go for 4 more fast moves. I'm going to swap out, which didn't work out here at all. But they're still going to throw. And if I can go for 1 more counter and for 1 more Ice Punch, I will be able to knock out the opponent there. And at this point of time, they will not have any option here of winning this game, which is going to be amazing for us, as they're going to go down by the next Ice Punch of the Medicham. And yeah, this team is honestly amazing. It works out really, really well, as you're going to have another horrible lead here. Like, it's not that I even faced like really decent leads like all the time, Dragonite, Altaria, whatever. I always encounter basically the worst possible leads for this team, which is kind of funny to think about it, because like this, we still will be able to showcase how strong this team actually can be. And even though like we have really bad matchups usually here. So I'm going to be able to swap out now into my Medicham, and in comes now the Tropius. I expect that they're going to have their own Medicham in the back here. So sadly seeing Peter here, which I really wish I didn't, to be fair, but I'm going to try to undercharge here a little bit, so I can go for another charge move later on, as we're going to see that I'm going to be able to farm them all the way down here, and I will have basically a perfect farm down. But they're gonna go ahead and go into their Bastion. Expect them fully to have still a Medicham in the back, so I'm not sure why they really did this here. They want to get energy on their own Bastion as well, I guess. As I go for the Flamethrower, they're going to swap out here right now, and I'm going to be able to go into my own Medicham. We have a shield advantage, but it's going to come down on depending on what they're going to do here right now. They're going to go for the Power Punch, which I predict here, and they do. And like this, I'm really in the driver's seat right now. I can just go ahead and shield this move up and win this game. And I do exactly not that, and I'm going to lose the game because I let the Psychic go through, and I'm still going to show, of course, those games where I completely screw up. There was no reason for me to play that risky. I could have just went ahead and went straight for the Psychic, and I still would have been able to win the game. But no, I just, honestly, yeah. But I still, here at least you're going to see nothing where it's just like, oh, here's all my wins. This team is so amazing. I went 10 and 15, but I still only show the 10 wins I did get. No, like here you see also the games where I fail, which is, I think, very decent to learn from. I actually saw a lot of people that also want to see like the teams where I fail with. I said it in, I think, the last rank 1 in the world team, that there are a lot of teams that just don't work out for me, that just don't make it onto YouTube. And yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I can make a video once in a while with like a team where I'm like, okay, yeah, don't play this team, this doesn't work out. I didn't expect that people want to see that, to be fair. I saw like a lot of comments towards that they actually would like to see it. So that's why you usually never see that on my channel. But yeah, here we're going to actually have a very interesting matchup. Pay close attention to this one here, because it is interesting. We're going to have here the opponent's Noctowl with 2 shields still left. So it's a very likely one that they're going to shield this move up here, right? I have no idea why. So the opponent completely screwed up here as well. I'm able to get 2 more counters in, which also will allow me to shield up the move. And we're actually going to be able to win this game, because the opponent just decided, I want to go for the 2 shield flex, and it didn't work out at all. So like basically what I did wrong in the game before, where I tried to go for the 2 shield flex, my opponent tried to do here as well, and it went wrong for them. Use your shield, guys. Definitely use your shields. Helps out quite a bit for Go Battle League if you actually use the shields that you have available. Honestly, I kind of would like to make a video as well where I'm like, okay, this is going to be a challenge. I'm not going to use any shield. Can I still win some games? Would be kind of funny. But yeah, here we're going to see sadly a Grassel team, which is going to be tough to beat for this team as well, as we're going to now have the Victory Bell against us. We're going to be able to shield up the Leaf Blade by the opponent, as we're going to go for a Stone Edge here, which may be very decent for us, but it's going to be a tough one to still come back, especially if they have the Medicham in the back. But they're actually gonna get to another charge move before I can go for another, like, for the farm down here, which is really bad for me. But like this, I'm actually going to be able to get 2 more fast moves in. And as you're going to see here right now, there's a Tropius coming in against us. Tropius has the move Leaf Blade, which they're gonna get to, I think, after 6 fast moves still? No, never mind. I think it just generates 4 energy per Razor Leaf usage. So they need 9 fast moves, which I think is more accurate for that. So they need in total 18 fast moves to get there. And here we're going to see that I'm going to be able to knock them out. And I think for Ice Punch, you would need also 18. But because I had 2 fast moves advantage, I was able to win this game and outspeed the opponent. So that's good to know. As we're going to now encounter the opponent Azumarill here for the final game of today's video. We're going to have here the Icy Wind coming through, as this is going to get the debuff onto them. And again, I most likely play this a little bit wrong. Most likely people who actually know how to play this play it a little bit differently. I would most likely just go for one Icy Wind and then for one Drill Run. I think that's the best play to go for. But in comes now the Venusaur. What I'm gonna do here is I'm going to stay in for a little bit, try to get them lower, and also try to get some damage onto them here with the Icy Wind plus the Ice Shard. Either get the knockout here or get the shield plus the debuff, and I want to get the debuff here as I can overfarm by a little bit and swap out into my Bastion. This will allow me now to go for the full farm on against the opponent, take a Frenzy Plant here for sure, take another Frenzy Plant here for sure. Doesn't do too much damage as they are debuffed and they are non-shadow. So this is going to be fairly decent for us as they're gonna go ahead and go for their charge move. It's going to be the Hydro Pump, and it does not knock us out as we can go ahead and go for another Stone Edge. Going to be able to get some more damage onto them, and I can go for the Drill Run now to try to knock out the opponent's Azumarill. Does this work out? Do they shield this move up here? They do not, and now it's the final Pokemon, the Sableye, and we can go for one Icy Wind right now. And I'm going to take a risk here and say that I'm going to reach another Icy Wind if I shield another charge move up, but I don't even have to do this. I still get to it no matter what. And now it is time for the Medicham to finally seek revenge for all the Sableye matchups that we're in where it's gonna lose it, because it's usually the hardest answer. So of course we have to go for the BM move and go for the Psychic against the Sableye here in order to win this final game for today. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already. There are two videos on the screen right now. One is going to be for the Mega Tyranitar, which got released now for today, and the other one is going to be for another rank 1 in the World Team. Check them out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.